The fix cost 57 cents per car. General Motors knew the ignition switch in millions of its vehicles was defective. They knew the switch could cut power to a moving car, disable power steering, and silence airbags, so that when the car crashed, the airbags would not deploy. They knew this in 2001. They knew it in 2005. They knew it again in 2006, when engineers quietly redesigned the switch without changing the part number so nobody would notice the revision. They continued selling the cars. They continued knowing. In February 2014, General Motors recalled 2.6 million vehicles. By then, at least 124 people had died in crashes where the airbags did not deploy. A compensation fund later confirmed 124 deaths. Independent analysts believe the real number is higher. The fix that would have prevented those deaths cost 57 cents per vehicle. General Motors knew about the defect 13 years before they issued the recall. They made a decision. 124 families made another. They buried someone. The defect was mechanical and simple. The ignition switch installed in the Chevrolet Cobalt, the Saturn Ion, the Chevrolet HHR, the Pontiac Solstice, the Saturn Sky, and the Pontiac G5 had insufficient torque retention in its detent spring. Under common conditions, a heavy keychain, a knee bumping the ignition, a jolt on a rough road, the switch could move from run to accessory while the car was moving. When it moved, the engine lost power. Power steering disappeared. And most critically, the airbag control module shut down. Collisions that should have been survivable became fatal because the safety system was disabled by a component that could have been corrected for less than $1. Engineers at GM identified the problem during development of the Chevrolet Cobalt prior to its 2003 sale. Internal reports documented the issue and recommended a fix. The cost for the correction was calculated 57 cents per vehicle. The recommendation was rejected. According to documents later disclosed in litigation and congressional inquiries, the fix did not meet GM's internal cost-benefit threshold. The company proceeded to produce and sell thousands of vehicles with the defective switches. Complaints accumulated. In 2005 and 2006, engineers revisited the switch and implemented a design change intended to correct torque retention. Crucially, they did not change the part number. The same part number covered two physically different switches, masking the revision in inventories and obscuring the trail for investigators and plaintiffs. On March 10, 2010, Brooke Melton, 29, was driving a 2005 Chevrolet Cobalt on a Georgia highway. The ignition switch rotated. The car lost power. Brooke lost control and died. Her parents sued General Motors. During discovery, the legal process that compels document production, their attorneys obtained internal GM records showing the company had known about the ignition switch defect since at least 2001. The paper trail was extensive. Engineering assessments, memos, test reports, and correspondence, documenting awareness and deliberation. Brooke Melton's suit did not merely seek compensation, it unearthed the documentary evidence that would expose a corporate timeline of knowledge and delay. GM's 2009 bankruptcy complicated accountability. The Federal Rescue and Restructuring created a new corporate entity, New GM, while old GM's liabilities were largely left behind. Families with claims tied to pre-bankruptcy crashes faced legal barriers. The entity that built the defective cars and had known about the defect was effectively reorganized away from those liabilities. New GM argued it was not responsible for old GM's conduct. The restructuring, supported by public funds intended to save an industry and jobs, had the side effect of erasing or reducing the legal recourse available to many victims and their families. In February 2014, GM issued a recall for 2.6 million vehicles. CEO Mary Barra testified before Congress. Investigators reconstructed the timeline, when engineers raised concerns, when recommendations were made, and when decisions were taken. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration fined GM $35 million, the statutory maximum at the time. To place that figure in context, GM's 2013 revenue exceeded $150 billion. The fine represented approximately 2 hours of revenue. GM dismissed 15 employees in connection with the scandal. No GM executive was criminally convicted for deaths linked to the defective switch. GM established a compensation fund administered by Kenneth Feinberg to process claims for death and injury. The fund confirmed 124 deaths attributable to the defect and paid varying awards for injury and loss. Critics noted the fund's criteria excluded cases where the link to the switch was plausible but not proven to the fund's standard. Families whose claims were complicated by the 2009 bankruptcy faced additional hurdles. Some received settlements, some received nothing. The confirmed toll remained a stark metric, 124 lives documented, and likely more uncounted. Internal documents reveal the calculus behind the decision, an economic analysis weighing the cost of remedying the switch against the projected cost of litigation and payouts for resulting deaths and injuries. The fix was priced at 57 cents per car. The analysis concluded the remedy was not justified economically. That calculation, recorded in company records, effectively placed a dollar value on human life and influenced corporate behavior. The consequence was preventable loss. Regulatory and legislative changes followed. The NHTSA's maximum civil penalty was raised. Congress tightened reporting expectations for safety issues within automakers. The Department of Justice negotiated a deferred prosecution agreement with GM in 2015. The company paid $900 million and admitted to misleading federal regulators. Still, no individual executive faced incarceration related to the deaths. GM continued operating under its new structure. Some accountability was financial and institutional, but the human consequences remained irreparable. The ignition switch was defective. GM knew. The 57-cent fix was rejected. Cars were sold. Airbags failed to deploy. People died. Brooke Melton's death exposed the paper trail that showed what the company knew and when. 124 confirmed victims did not return. Subscribe to Case Files TV because the decisions made in boardrooms about pennies and safety sometimes cost lives, and those choices deserve scrutiny.